Welcome to my second show. I'm very excited about this question and answers. It's a question that's personal to me, and I think it really represents me. So I'm pretty excited about it. Not much going on this week, just a lot of working. Spent a lot of time with my girlfriend and her daughter. That was fun. Played a lot of WoW, and she has a higher item level than I do, and I'm kind of upset about that. But what can you do? Hey, it's my own fault because I ult so much that my item level just kind of fell down. But I'm gonna work on that. But anyway, this is a very exciting question and answers, and I can't wait to get into it. So let's go ahead and get into it. So this week's question, let's get to it. Do you have one character that is an extension of you? I love that question. So the first answer comes from Elky at Elky WTF, and I really want to say Elky, what the fuck? But thank you so much, Elky, for actually replying. I'm very excited that you replied. Elky's really cool. If you haven't followed her on Twitter, I definitely would. She's just very interactive and really loves Warcraft. So she says, yes, my character Clover the Mage is the WoW version of me. And it's funny because I've seen the image of your mage, and it does look a little bit like you. If you look like a void elf. But honestly, it's really cool because you do make characters that in some way represent you. At least I know I do. So it's really cool to know somebody else does. So thank you, Elky. I appreciate it. The next one comes from Console at Console. He writes, Duragi in every game, he's my ugly-looking tank pally. Not the greatest to look at, but at his core, he's a pally. Brought up on trust, honesty, and very dependable to friends. If you don't know, Console is my friend, a very long-time friend. I've known him forever. And it really does, if you take out the ugly part, I don't agree with that. But his paladin is very much like him. He is a very trustful, honest, and dependable friend. And he does always play Duragi. And I'll never forget his Duragi in, I think it was in EQ2. And he was this big troll with this giant sword. And he was so proud of that guy. But he's right. I always find Paladin to be something that represents me. I'm not really the biggest churchgoer, but I stand in what I believe. And I always feel like Paladin is something close to me. So the next one comes from Imperia. She writes, not really, because I don't get into the role-playing mindset when I play a game. That said, if a game features interactive quests where choices have to be made, I think I tend to make choices that real me would make, so there's that. You gotta understand, I've known Imperia just as long as I've known Console, so I can hear her voice in my head as this is being read. And she's right, she does play that way. She quests with the choices she probably would make in her own head, and I do that. I do that on my character that represents me. I always try to take that character and I try to do the game and make those choices based on what I would do. So I think that's a really good point, Imperia. I like that a lot. So on to the next one. This comes from Dr. K, Cult of the Damned. I love your little skull icon. And they're at K Kohara. I probably butchered that, but you can find them on Twitter. And they wrote, look no further than Mori and her excessive number of alter egos. And she included this really cool little picture here. Yeah, that's the multiple versions of Mori, apparently. And I've seen people do that, which is, something that people do. They'll make a character and they'll just base it on themselves. They'll use the same name, I think my buddy Fred McVan does that sometimes with his characters. He'll be like McVan and Fred McVan and I think he wrote Death McVan or something like that. And then he makes characters that look kind of like that. But I remember somebody in Star Wars: The Old Republic doing that too. He had something tank, something smuggler, something tank, something DPS, something heal, something med. It was like his name, just other alterations of it, and his characters look very much alike. So thank you, Dr. KT. Next one is from Electric Smurf at Sound Wizard LLC, who is never a loss for words by any means, and he writes, "Not really." And again, I've known Smurf just as long as I know console, so yeah. Smurf, he likes to make characters that are interesting to him. You know, I think my favorite story with Smurf, when we played Madden football, he thought it would be very interesting to have the most out of shape guy play quarterback. So he would make like this big, huge, out of shape guy, and he would just like run the field with him, and it was so much fun watching him do that. That's the way Smurf plays the games, though. He comes up with like a creation in his head, and he wants that character to be the creation. And I think he plays Star Trek Online too, and he has like the USS Jefferson, and I think his other ship are like the USS Wheezy or something. So I mean, he's got his own way of playing. Maybe they may not be like versions of himself, but they're things that, you know, he may find funny or he may like, at least in my opinion. But the next one comes from Nicole May at Nicole May 316. Nicole writes, "Absolutely, my main is always a self-insert." I like that, Nicole. I mean, yeah, that's how I think. I think I have three mains, like I've said before, and they're always some type of insert version of me, and I'll get to that later. But yeah, that's really, really cool. And I can definitely relate to you there, which is awesome. So thank you, Nicole. On to the next one. Fred McVan at Fred McVan, another good friend of mine. He writes, "No, not really. I only play what is fun for me. I like to tank because I like to lead. I like to heal because saving people is fun. DPS used to be fun, but too competitive these days." I mean, McVan, he loves to play the tanking class. He loves to lead. He loves to explain the raid. He loves to explain the dungeon. That's just McVan's way of doing it. And that's true, like, right, McVan. It's something that's, you know, it kind of represents you in real life. You may say it doesn't, but it kind of does. I mean, like I said, I know McVan. So the next one, Charlie plays too much WoW. Charlie, I love your name. It always, every time I read it, it just makes me laugh. At Chaswick on Twitter, he writes, "Really does the character act how I would in real life, but the characters tend to look like me. You think that playing on an RP WoW server, I'd be more inclined to roleplay, but nope, too busy getting things done to sit and chat." I've played on a role-playing server for a little bit, and it's so fun to watch people interact on an RP server. They really like to get into the character, but I have the same problem, Charlie. I can't do it, and I love to write, and I love watching the interaction. But I just have, like, I'm so OCD about everything I do that I've got a plan for every single character, and that plan needs to be accomplished on the night that I'm logging in, and I can't sit there in RP. RP just doesn't fit in my plan. So I totally get what you're saying. You play a lot like I do, and that's pretty freaking awesome. So thank you again. And I guess that'll be it for tonight. We had a really short Q&A session. There a lot of people really replied. That was kind of a bummer. I really wanted to get more people to interact, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of fill as much time up as I can describing why I do it and what I like about it. So let's get to that section now. Do you have one character that is an extension of you? I mean, I do. I've explained this a couple times, and I'll go over it again because why the hell not? I have three characters that mainly I play, and those are representations of me. I've got Caber, who's usually been my main. Caber, just to kind of give you guys a background on Caber, Caber comes from a story that I wrote back in high school. I was either in 10th or 11th grade. It was a Star Wars RP story, and I made Lance Caber. Big surprise, he was supposed to be like Luke Skywalker. But he became a character, and the name Caber just kind of stuck with me, and it became my gamer tag for pretty much everything I did, and that's where it comes from. And when I looked it up later on, I found out that the Knights of the Round Table had a Sir Kay, so I kind of looked into that a little bit and kind of tried to go with that theme, and I made logos around that, and I just finally got to the point where I was like, you know, Caber's just me, and that's, you know, how it was. But Caber in every game is the fantasy version who's the chaotic good version of me. So he's always what I wish I was, or, you know, what I wish I could have been or what I want to be. And he is always very lawful. He always does the right thing, even if it's too good or too right. In Star Wars The Old Republic, he completely follows the Jedi Code. He won't ever go away from the Jedi Code. I think I have maybe a little bit of negativity because I skipped a request and accidentally hit it, but it wasn't like I meant to pick the dark side choice. I normally pick the light side choice all the time on him. In World of Warcraft, he's a warrior, and he's a very good, positive warrior. He's always looking to help people. He's just, he's got the same look. He's always got long, reddish hair because I like the color red. He's got the long beard. I think he's got dreadlocks in both games because dreadlocks just look freaking cool. I'm sorry. So, I have him, and he's always been my main. But then I've got the opposite version. My real name is Gary, and I always use the name Yarg as my alternate version of that character. He's the complete opposite of Caber. He is basically, he's the character that would make the bad choice. He's the evil Sith character. He's the I shouldn't even use evil. Evil would be the wrong word. He's like Anakin. He's the type of guy who just does things out of emotion, feeling, and what he thinks is the right reason to do it. And that's just how he is. And the decisions I make, he's always either, an elf or I think he's a Twi'lek in Star Wars. He's always the different race or species that I find to be the coolest looking or the most that would fit that version of Yarg that I know. And, I've got him in every game that I play too. Then there's the real me. This is where this came about a couple years back. I felt as though I liked the concept of working in real life all day and then getting lost in whatever world I was playing in that night. So there came this new character who was actually based on real me. He's got my hairstyle, my beard, my look, I guess so to say. And he is that version of me in every single game. So when I want to be some agent in an apocalyptic world, I create a Thal in, the Division 2. When I want a Thal to be the do-good, I guess you could say, the do-good Western lawman, I created the version of a Thal that became the Western lawman. In Star Wars The Old Republic, he's the Jedi Knight. I think he's also a sorcerer, or I guess sage is the he's not a sorcerer, he's a sage. And I know that I would be a helpful Jedi and I would heal people, but I would also fight because I sometimes, have that emotion in me to do that. And I always felt like that fit his personality. So a Thal came about because he could be the Jedi Knight I saw, the Paladin I saw in the World of Warcraft, the Western hero who's the character that I play in Red Dead. He's just me. He's the real me. And it's something I came up with a couple of years back. I needed to release my energy levels, and I'm so OCD when it comes to my characters that those three have to be leveled. Those three always have to be maxed out. They have to be leveled. They have to be somewhat geared. They're always the first three I level, and that's just how I play. And to be honest with you, I think I like a Thal better than my other two, and he's always the number one character that I feel is more like me. I make the choices I would make. I play him the way I feel. I don't feel ever like I'm stuck playing it that way. So he's just me. He just fits. And that's pretty much what I do. I have three characters that are an extension of me. And I guess, it's just part of like who I am and how I play. It's my style. And I think all of my alts are some little part of me, something that represents me in some way. My druid, I think she's a nature druid. I try to make her as close to nature as I could because I do like nature. Let's see. I think, I try to put myself in a little bit of everything. I have a vision in my head about this night elf warrior, so I created this night elf warrior because I saw him. He's like part of me. I saw this story. It's such headcanon. It's so ridiculous, but that's how I play. And I mean that's pretty much it. And I completely screwed this up and didn't maximize the video and left the question up, which is not what I planned on doing. But you guys are gonna get stuck with that. So, and I apologize for the wonderful looking background I have, but my gaming setup is basically my living room. So, anyway, thank you guys for all interacting. Thank you guys for jumping out and replying, and thanks to my lifelong friends for jumping in and always helping with this. I really love it. I'm going to post the next question out there over the weekend and hopefully get some more replies. So thanks again, everybody, and I appreciate it and can't wait to talk to you next week.